Ho, ho, ho. Santa here, just going through my Christmas letters. Here's one from Amelia in Edinburgh. She says, "Dear Santa, can I have a real-life unicorn for Christmas?" Ho, 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 Amelia, of course you can. Here's one from Jason in Coventry, and he said, "Dear Santa, for Christmas, please send me a red Ferrari with a wanton Scarlett Johansson draped across the back seat." Ho, 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 Jason. Well, see what we can do for you, shall we? And here's one from Mike in Hertfordshire, and he says, "Dear Santa, all I want for Christmas is a West Ham away win." Well, Mike, I'm not a bloody miracle worker, you know. Hi gang, welcome to Mike on Monday. It's been the kind of week that's had West Ham fans pulling their hair out by the fistful. So let's have a look at this week at West Ham. Go on, let's. Well, before we get going on this properly, let's address the elephant in the room. Hello mate, how are you? Good? Fine. Yes, I'm aware I used to have long hair and now I don't. You see, this is what happens when 60s, late 60s retro just isn't retro enough for you. I'm now rocking a look which can only be described as Officer at the Somme, about to go over the top. Yes, people, I'm going that far back with my retro look. Anyway, this week at West Ham started for me on Tuesday when I went to see the under-23s play Wycombe Wanderers in the Chechay Trophy. And great day, went with Gonzo, we had a great time. We lost 2-0. There's a lot of people calling for Sead Haksabanovic, you know him, Haksaban, that one, him to get into the team. And for me, I've seen a couple of games now for the under-23s and he just does not look like the finished article. But we have got a player called Ben Johnson, who's about 17, built like a brick thingy, and just what a player. Really, really good. Plays right back, and I noticed that he made it onto the bench already at the game in Man City. So well done, Ben. Expect to see more from him, because we expect it as West Ham fans, don't we? We expect to see really good players coming through the system. I mean, there was a point when the chief export of West Ham was classy players from developing from youth through to first team and then setting them on and then playing for England. Now, the chief export for West Ham appears to be guests on the Jeremy Kyle show, which is something completely different, but never mind. On Wednesday we were away at Everton, a game that's been covered on this channel on Hammers Chat in great detail already, except for me to say that we were just so slow and ponderous that we made Wayne Rooney look dynamic. Let's have a quick nip over to Mike at the Tactics Centre and see what happened. He's over there. Thanks, Mike. Welcome to the Tactics Centre. This is the new improved Tactics Centre, newly mounted, and I'm sure you'll agree this is the kind of board we can all be excited about. Now, here are the tactics lineup for the game against Everton. As you can see, Wayne Rooney playing at the heart of midfield and then bursting forward. And here are the Everton team bursting forward as we speak. And you're wondering where the West Ham team are and our tactical analysis. Well, they're here, still in the box because they didn't turn up, did they? Do you know what I mean? I bother with that. So there you go. Everton 4, West Ham 0, tactical analysis par excellence. Back to you at the studio, Mike. Thanks, Mike. That was great. On Thursday, David Moyes in his pre-match press conference came up with a brilliant quote, and he said, and I am quoting him here, that he has a good job with good players. Really, David, did you not get the role for nailing your bottom lip onto a moving car? Because, like, I can't believe you think this is a good job. We are so... Anyway, never mind. I'm ranting. Friday, because this week couldn't get any more surreal, the Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, published his long-awaited, by him anyway, report onto the finances surrounding our move to the former Olympic Stadium, now London Stadium. Now, I mean... Apparently the upshot of this is that Sadiq Khan has taken over direct running of the stadium. Sadiq, mate, do you fancy taking over the whole club? Because I think you might actually do a better job. You certainly couldn't do any worse. In fact, given how screwed you're going to be if we get relegated, could you get your boots? Because we need a centre forward, yeah? So get on with it, man. Let's do that. Sunday came round and we were away at Man City. Again, it's been covered in match reports after the game by other people. My wife, though, right, spent the day winding me up and telling me how many goals Man City were going to wipe by. And I, in a really childish way, tightened all the taps really tight in the bathroom to get my own back. Good tip for you there. Game came round and we did a bit better than everyone thought we would. Again, let's quickly visit Mike over at the Tactics Centre and see what he's got to say about it. Thanks, Mike. Welcome back to the Tactics Centre, and we're going to have a quick analysis of the Manchester game that finished Manchester City 2, West Ham United 1. Obviously, West Ham took the lead in that game, and Manchester City managed to equalise and then go on to win. Now, it sounds disastrous at first look, but everyone assumed we'd lose this. It could have been anything between 5 to 10-0. Let's have a quick look at the Tactics Centre and see how we avoided that heavy defeat here. And as you can see here, Manchester City, subtly disguised as Everton, because I don't actually have a Man City team, never mind, attacking en masse and us defending on the goal line like we very lives depended on it. So there you go. That's us at the Tactics Centre. It finished Manchester City 2, West Ham United 1. All the tactics analysed there. Back to Mike in the studio. Thanks, Mike. It was insightful as ever. Why are we this bad? Why are we not playing as well as we should be playing? Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I've put together a little special report on what's happening at West Ham. Here it is. Here's the team report. Right now, if you look at the Opta stats, it should be on screen now, you can see that we excel at silly patterns shaved into hair, religious gestures when walking on the pitch, kicking a ball roughly the right direction, curry eating and getting in the way of the other team. Those are the things that we do really, really well at, but we're not winning games despite those excellent skills. And I've come up with a few reasons as to why that might be. And here they are. Reason one, gypsy curse. Now, I'm starting to think we might have been cursed in the past. Now, I have used curses before, often overlooked and forgotten now, cursing. I was in Argos a few years ago and got really, really poor service from some bloke there. And I cursed him. And you know what? I think it worked, because I went back to the same Argos 3 weeks later and he was still working there. So there you go. Could explain a lot. Number two, the state of public transport. Now, you're thinking, how would that affect the team? Well, I think, remember, we've meant to have all these great links to the stadium, etc. But, public transport really will affect them. It's one thing saying, well, surely they just drive and get the coach and whatever. Yeah, but if the roads are mucked up, the coach takes a long time and they get really nervous and upset if that happens. Poor little things. There's a lot of things about public transport that wind me up, by the way. A lot of things, especially in and around London. Probably the thing that gets me the most is, the posh female automated voice that announces the next station? I mean, how posh is that voice? Like, nobody I know ever has, not even the Queen speaks like that, let alone anybody I know. I'll give you an example. I was on the Northern Line, it pulled in at Highgate, which is a posh part of London. Posh automated voice lady goes into posh overdrive. She says, the next station is Highgate. I'm like, where the hell's Highgate when it's at home? It's Highgate, love. Highgate. We're in London. Anyway, if she can be put that posh, the posh bits of London, surely she should be a bit more realistic about the less salubrious parts of London. Surely she should say, the next station is Wood fucking Green. Oh God. Please change here for knocked off knockers, underage sex and knifings. And please mind the gap between the service we should provide and the reality. And the third reason I think we could be underperforming as a team at the moment is, of course, sex. Now, I'm not quite sure that that's too much sex for the players or not enough sex for the players, but let's face it, women love rich footballers. I mean, fair enough, we've all got our foibles. I mean, I'm quite attracted to people with something slightly wrong with them, for instance. I mean, it doesn't have to be a major thing, let's get that clear. It could be like a lazy eye or a lisp or mental health issues or Germans, quite a lot. Anyway, Anyway, this being Mike on Monday, and we like to do a bit where we answer some, well, I don't we, it's just me, where I answer questions, etc. And you've been brilliant, by the way. Thanks so much for viewing. And you can either tweet me at WHUMike, and or you can you just leave comments underneath or whatever, or send carrier pigeon, whatever you think would work. I've got the hair for it. Whatever you think would work, but do send messages through. And if you've got any questions for me, and we have had a few in, so let's have a look at those at my Ask Mike Anything section. Here we do it. Let's do it now. Look, that way. Yes, let's do it. So our first question comes from Sean, and he says, now I've got, as regular viewers will know, not only do I used to have long hair, but I have also got an ongoing feud with the London Borough of Lewisham. And Sean says, I live in New Cross and it's not that bad. New Cross being just along the road from Lewisham. And I would just say this to you, Sean, like, next time you're invited to a party and you're told to bring a bottle, that's not just social inclusion, that's safety advice. So watch yourself there in Stab City. Ryan, now last week you saw last week's show, I did a thing about my favourite West Ham shirts, and Ryan just cried, and always be specific if you're asking questions, because Ryan has written in with, what's your worst, what's your least favourite shirt or worst shirt? But he wasn't specific about which club. Now I've got a thing for second division left-wing Hamburg-based football club, St. Pauli. St. Pauli, a second division, Bundesliga 2, whatever you want to call it in Germany. And their team colours are brown and white, which is already a mixture for disaster. But if you think anything brown and white would be bad, and trust me, they've had, this has got to be, and it was so bad, I had to buy it. Feast your eyes on that bad boy. Is that not? I wore it once for playing tennis and won purely because the other person felt sick after the first set. And that shirt's why. Look at that. There you go. And what's next? Now, Hammer Sally, as if we'd do such a thing, Sally, or I'd love to any time, depending which way you want to take it, has written in to ask, what's the worst mistake you've ever made? Well, thanks for that, Sally, and I'm not going to tell you because there's far too many of them, but I will tell you a hilarious one my wife makes regularly, because she often gets bloodthirsty terrorist group ISIS confused with online high street retailer ASOS. And last week when it was Black Friday, she came up with a brilliant gem where she said, oh, I just got an email from ISIS. She doesn't actually speak like this, she hasn't had a stroke, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I've just got an email from ISIS, and it says it's a Black Friday sale and everything must go. That sounded bloody terrifying to me. And finally, we've got a message from John the Iron, and he sounds like a superhero. I'm John the Iron. That's playing up front, John, please. And he says, do I think we're going to get anything out of the Chelsea game? Thanks for that. Obviously, that brings on to our next game, which is home to Chelsea. And then we're home to Arsenal. It just does not get any easier, does it, folks? Yeah. So, do I think we're going to get anything out of Chelsea game? I've got a funny feeling we might, actually. We might. I'll be back next Monday, folks. That's it for this week. And we'll be talking about said Chelsea game. I'm going to be there, going to be on the boats beforehand. If you see me at the game, do come and say hi. It's always great to meet Hammers fans, especially ones who watch this show. And until then, folks, if you've liked this show, please do give it the thumbs up. Please remember to subscribe to not just this channel, but the main Hammers Chat channels. There's 2 channels to subscribe through. Hammers Chat Forum channel, soon to be at some point the West Ham show, and the Hammers Chat main channel. And if you've enjoyed tonight, or if you've not enjoyed the show, please do leave comments below. I will try and answer all of them. And if you've got any questions, remember to leave them. Until next week, folks, come on, you Irons!
I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, nearly reach the sky. Then, like my dreams, they fade and die. Fortune always hiding. I've looked everywhere. I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air.
high, nearly reach the sky. Then in my doo-doo-doo dreams they fade and doo-doo-doo die.
Fortune always hiding. I looked everywhere.
Blowing bubbles, the pretty bubbles in the air.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles, no more trouble. Pretty bubbles in